Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on the Flash movie, the DCU as a whole. Man, drama alert. Jesus. So there is never a quiet day when it comes to just, I guess, drama and controversial news when it comes to DC-based, TV shows and movies and even the comics and its affiliation with Warner Brothers most of the time. I mean, you get good things that come out that are then quickly slapped down by bad things, which are then slapped down even further by even worse things. And I mean, these past few days and potentially the coming days and weeks could be even more crazy and dramatic and worrying if you are a fan, and we're looking forward to pretty much anything coming our way from DC, whether that be, in the cinemas or where you'd watch it in the cinemas or on TV in some form, whether it's network or streaming. So as I'm sure most people would have heard by now, as this news came out about probably like 2 days ago from when this video go out, Batgirl, the upcoming or formerly upcoming HBO Max film from DC and Warner Brothers, was killed, cancelled, shelved, archived to never be seen, whichever way you want to put it. Of course, this was a shock when it came out, and I didn't do anything relating to this in regards to a video straight away, as I wanted to see the various reactions and also follow-up information that would come out in the following 24 hours or so. And I'm happy I did that, as there is more coming out as to why certain things happened, as well as the status of other projects from DC that could be in trouble. So the real big question with the Batgirl situation is, why would Warner Brothers, or Warner Brothers Discovery now, I guess, throw Batgirl, a $90 million film, already finished filming as well, just throw it away? Well, according to sources with apparent knowledge of the situation, the most likely reason was taxes. So several sources, according to, what website was it? Variety. We're using Variety. So several sources note to Variety that Batgirl was made under a different regime at Warner Brothers, headed by Jason Keeler and Ann Sarnoff, that was focused on building its streaming service, HBO Max. We knew that. They did the whole put everything on HBO Max, and alongside when it came out in theaters in 2021, I guess end of 2020 and 2021 as well. But then we had David Zaslav take the reins of the newly formed Warner Brothers Discovery when it merged, which happened a few months ago. But before that, he went on a very well publicized tour designed to repair the Warner Brothers relationship with the creative community, which felt like it was disadvantaged by this whole putting all the movies on HBO Max in 2020 and 2021, despite all those creatives and actors getting paid a lot of money for that to happen. So they probably weren't that annoyed. It was probably just like a handful, and I'd say the minority. But due to this, David Zaslav pretty made it, like, he didn't really keep it much of a secret that he was going to reverse that whole strategy, and he was going to commit to releasing first-run feature films in theaters before putting them on HBO Max, so they're not coming out at the same time and stuff like that. And due to this, Batgirl found itself on the rear end, or, dirty end of that decision. So apparently it was neither big enough to feel worthy of a major theatrical release, nor small enough to make economic sense in an increasingly cutthroat streaming landscape. So, spending the money to, expand the size of Batgirl from the theaters, plus all the money in regards to like advertising and stuff like that, as well as, sending it out to other countries and stuff. The budget for this movie would keep growing and growing and growing to the point where it's competing with some movies that are like double the size or triple the size in regards to what they're dealing with, like aliens and big explosions and stuff. And Batgirl, as we know, was always going to be like a street level, very small and contained film. So of course it was originally set to be on HBO Max, and releasing the movie on HBO Max would seem like the most obvious outcome, right? Well, no, the company has instead decided to shelve Batgirl along with a Scoob sequel, prequel sort of movie, with all these different sources coming into Variety saying that it was definitely a tax write-down on both films and seen internally as the most financially sound way to recoup the costs of the film. And they can give the reason pretty much that it was due to like this, like the merging, like they weren't the one that greenlit certain things and everything like that. However, due to them taking tax write-offs for the film, they can't release the movie in any sort of monetizable way. So it can't go out in HBO Max, it can't be sold to another studio, and obviously it can't be released in theaters. So effectively, Batgirl and this Scoob movie will never see the light of day unless they are conveniently leaked online by maybe a certain person involved with either film. Now, the thing with Batgirl is that we're getting like mixed reports about test screenings. So some say that it got really bad test scores when it did the test screenings and stuff like that, while other people are coming out and saying, no, they were fine. You know, they weren't amazing, but they were fine for a comic book movie. So it is hard to tell which is true, though Warner Brothers is saying that Batgirl, doesn't fit with what they are aiming for with DC films. So maybe it was getting bad scores, but then the plot for the movie came out and it just sounds like a simple yet faithful Batgirl story that, would be seen on, film. So it makes you curious whether the execution wasn't good. But then again, I'm not saying it's a bad film. I haven't seen it, but Warner Brothers isn't a stranger to releasing a bad movie that they knew wouldn't be well received. So the tax reasons just sound like the clear reason for this. Nothing in regards to the actual quality of the film in regards to why it's not being released. But regardless, this whole thing is still a mystery in regards to what the film was really like and how the public would have perceived it. That will probably be a mystery that will never be solved due to the shelving of the film. Now, of course, this is obviously going to fold over into other movies, and the direct one that people are bringing up is The Flash. So could this, suggest that The Flash is done as well? There's been no talk about The Flash in regards to what's happening with it in regards to a public sense. All the other films, there is some talk about it, but The Flash is the one that's always kept silent. Well, with this, some would say, yeah, this isn't a good sign for The Flash. And logically, I think yes as well in regards to, well, if you're going to cancel Batgirl, where it didn't seem like there was anything problematic around it, surely The Flash seems like an easy one to follow up in its, in the cancellation crosshairs. But then also, the Flash movie is a $200+ million film. That's how much it costs to make, which probably would be closer to like $300 million now, if not maybe even cross the $300 million mark, just due to COVID-related things, delays, and post-production stuff. There is a big difference between cancelling Batgirl and cancelling The Flash. But then also, Batgirl was a movie that relied on The Flash existing. The Flash introduces Michael Keaton's Batman, which was in Batgirl, so does that mean they're going to maybe still release The Flash, but then change it to not have Michael Keaton in it, which then rules out Batgirl existing? It's a headache. However, Barbara Muschietti, who was a producer on The Flash, and her brother Andy directed the film, she responded to some people through Instagram DMs that all is good on the Flash front. But then again, only a couple of weeks ago, the two directors of Batgirl were hyping up the film, and the actress was talking about the film, and the directors were actually scheduled to return to edit the film in like the coming weeks after one of them got married in, I think, Morocco. I think that's where they're from. But yeah, the day that the news dropped was while they were at their wedding celebrations. Crazy. Nice wedding present, Warner Brothers. So even though it can all be like, hey, yeah, we're all good and stuff like that, this stuff can happen like just straight away. Even the Scoob people, I think they were doing, they were talking in interviews or something like that, or like a couple of people involved with it. We're only talking like a couple of weeks ago about, yeah, like the movie's going good. We've finished all this animation, everything like that. And then they get axed and cancelled the same time as Batgirl. Now, according to Rolling Stone magazine, they reported that the Supergirl film that was reported a few years ago isn't going ahead either, which I guess potentially doesn't bode well for the Flash film either, unless they plan to change Supergirl's part in the Flash film. So the Flash film will still exist, but they reshoot the Supergirl aspects, or they change the ending where Supergirl doesn't exist. I'm not too sure what's going on, but apparently the Supergirl film isn't in the works either, as in regards to like the general plan of what's going on. And along with this, and this is why I'm happy that I waited like a day or so to start doing this, because all this stuff just started to come out. Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2 reportedly are set to be delayed to next year. Now, Aquaman was already in next year, so Shazam to next year and Aquaman 2 to later in the year. So Aquaman could be coming out possibly as late as December next year. Now, the reminder that needs to be brought up there is that Aquaman was set to come out originally in December of this year. Now, currently it's coming out like May or April, I think, of next year. So if it doesn't get moved, that's where it is at the moment. But kicking off at the beginning of this year, it was set to still come out, in only a handful of months from now. So it could potentially be delayed even further, up to 12 months from this original release date that we had heading into this year, which is insane. Now, we know that they did some reshoots with Ben Affleck's Batman or Bruce Wayne, but it seems like they were there for literally a day. And apparently Michael Keaton is in the Aquaman movie in one scene. So it seems like they're just going to swap that Michael Keaton scene out for Ben Affleck, which once again doesn't bode well for The Flash. However, Aquaman was scheduled to come out before The Flash next year in the current schedule that they have. It's so confusing what's going on, and it makes you just wonder, like, is it like a crazy chicken that's making these decisions up? Like, it's all over the place. But this really does bring up the big question, and I don't think we're gonna know this for a while. Like, and when I say a while, I don't mean like 4 years, but I think we're not gonna know this for at least post Black Adam, because they probably want to just promote Black Adam and let that come out, and then probably announce anything that's happening. But are we seeing the potential road to goodbye with the current DC film era? Like, is that a possibility? Like, are we going to get a complete reboot following Aquaman? They're going to allow Aquaman to come out, everything like that, and then just sort of wipe the board and go clean. Now, that means they could either completely recast everyone, or they keep people that they really want in the role. Like, they go, okay, no, we want Momoa or Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and maybe there's one other person. Maybe they keep The Rock as Black Adam or something like that. But everything else is clean. Or do they maybe alter the end of The Flash, if it is released, to allow that reboot? So they line up everything they want it to be at the end of that movie, and then it's sort of like a soft, if not just genuine reboot heading forward out of that film. And you're probably getting like a flip of the coin in regards to what people would want, because a lot of people would just want a clean slate. And I'm sort of leaning towards clean slate, because I feel like as a DC fan, you're constantly getting happy about stuff and then getting annoyed by stuff, and then getting happy about stuff and then getting annoyed by stuff. And I think a clean slate wipes that away, at least for a good amount of time. But then also you might be like, well, hold on, we're losing a couple of good actors. Can't we keep them on and just rebrand them in this new rebooted universe? Like, is maybe that's the best way to go? So there's a couple of different ways they could reboot it if they want to go down that route, whether it's the clean slate or just like a middle reboot where you keep some of the same actors in those characters, but just build a new world around them. It's hard to know which way they're going to go, or even if they're going to go either of those ways. And also, there's the elephant in the room in regards to another film, and that's Blue Beetle. What the hell's going on with that? That finished filming about a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago or something like that. And that wasn't an HBO Max film like Batgirl was. That was originally meant for theater. That's like, they started filming that movie as if it was going to theaters. I think originally it was HBO Max, and then before they started production, it was like, no, we're going to be releasing that in theaters, like Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, and stuff like that. But we haven't heard anything since that. And I mean, if they're going to cancel Batgirl, I could easily see them canceling Blue Beetle. Like, if there's talk to even cancel The Flash, I could see them canceling Blue Beetle. I think the thing that helps Blue Beetle is that maybe it's not really overly connected to the rest of the universe outside of minor references. So they could release it sometime next year, just when there's a free slot. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what they do with that movie. Now, today, from when this video comes out, this news might have actually already happened. Actually, it probably already did, if I'm thinking about when my videos usually release and when this thing happened. But I need to do this video in advance anyway. But there should be more announcements coming. Now, it's rumored that HBO Max will cease to exist as a platform and be folded into the Discovery Plus streaming service, where it will just be an HBO tab on that service. Other sources are saying that they're going to combine, but it won't be called HBO Max, it won't be called Discovery, it won't be called HBO Discovery, it'll have a completely new name. That's a wait and find out. I guess maybe by this point now, it's already come out. And also, it came out only a few hours before I made this video that apparently HBO Max staff are being cut by 70% due to what's happening with this merge of services, with a lot of the scripted content being canned potentially. So this could mean like goodbye to like Titans, Doom Patrol, upcoming Green Lantern show. Those are all HBO Max affiliated shows. Maybe even animated stuff like Harley Quinn and Young Justice. We could see like a slaughterhouse with some of these shows happening now. With Titans and Doom Patrol, like Doom Patrol looks like it's heading into its last season anyway. I think a lot of people said like the episode titles suggest it's a final season. And I mean, Titans could just end. I don't know how many people would overly care. The Green Lantern show, which has long been delayed and everything, would be a burner. So people like are just curious about that show, but then maybe they just move it to the general story that they're going for to a movie. But then again, it was with lesser Green Lanterns outside of like Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. So maybe they just canned it completely. I have no idea. That show would have been expensive to make, and it seems like Discovery and HBO and then Warner Brothers don't want to spend money on TV shows. They just want to make cheap stuff. So that doesn't bode well for Green Lantern at all. But yeah, it's a wait and find out. It's a dangerous time if you're looking forward to anything DC related. So I'm crossing my fingers it all turns out for the best, but I'm not hopeful because everything that's coming out doesn't seem overly positive. But if there's any updates, I'll definitely do videos on it and discuss it. But That's a wait and find out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know your various opinions on all this in the comments section down below. Very curious to read what you think of, certain situations in regards to certain properties. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.